you've just mentioned you've come through COVID, so I'm not going to ask you about that. Just give us a sense of the unique challenges now involved in managing a squad coming off a Challenge Cup victory.
Where do I start with that one? First of all, it's a massive challenge. Look, we've already spoken to the boys early in the week about what's in front of us. We desperately want to make the top four. I think things have fallen in a very difficult way for us in terms of the fact that, our Challenge Cup games, we decided to field less experienced teams, again, a couple of top four teams. We're coming off the back of, a very tiring, emotional weekend, and now we've got 6 games in 17 days. So we play tomorrow night, and after tomorrow night, we've got 3 games in 6 days. So for us, it's about getting the balance. We're going to get a team out there tomorrow night, strong as we possibly can, but we've come out after Wembley in a couple of reasons. Well, I'm keen not to play anybody tomorrow that's not 100% fit, and we have got players that I know if I play them tomorrow night, then they probably won't play the next 2 or 3 games. I know if we sort of let them get closer to 100%, then they've a chance of playing, the Castleford and Wakefield game at least after that. But after then, it's going to be an absolute rotation of the squad. Well, no one else is playing that amount of games in that amount of days. So I do feel that the Challenge Cup has given us significant more challenges than the other teams chasing the spot. Nonetheless, we spoke about our inability to train as much, as inability to preview and review as much, and that we feel we've got enough underpinned within us that basically we can turn up, give them a few pointers and give it a really good whirl. And that the fact that we've got a squad that's got some depth about it, it's going to be more than a 17-man challenge. It's going to challenge the whole squad. But I think if we can pull it off, it will be just an enormous achievement for us, and we'll give it a damn good go. Put it that way.
In a way, could you have done with being worse off in Super League, where you're not actually on the fringe of the 4, and you don't have to fight for a 4 because you're going Friday, Monday, Thursday, Sunday initially. It's just
it's crazy. Challenge. It's crazy, but that's what it is. And look, we played one less game in the Challenge Cup this year. Getting through to the Challenge Cup has almost penalised us. I feel we've sort of been penalised by getting called off by other teams, but that's not their fault. You look at Catalan now and everybody's going, well, Catalan will probably miss or have missed the Wigan game, the whole game, they missed one again ourselves, but probably going to miss one again Warrington. So getting to 15 games looks like an easy route for Catalan, but that's not their fault, James. It's not. It's plain and simply not their fault. It's just we all knew that I guess it wasn't going to be equal when we got to deciding these places. There's probably a chance there's going to be an element of unfairness in it, and I think we're going to bear the brunt of that. However, it's not going to stop us having a right good go at it, a right good go. And at the same time, we're not moaning and whinging and looking at other clubs and how the cards might have fallen for them. That's the way it is. That's purely and simply the way it is. And when we were looking at the Challenge Cup a month ago, we talked about the certainty, the certainty of knowing who you're playing. And if you can avoid COVIDs, knowing likely that that's the team you're going to play on that fixture and it's not going to be changed at 24 hours notice. And, there were a degree of certainty about the Challenge Cup, which is why, we did choose to go with less experienced teams in a couple of them. And the other thing, James, is in the quest for the 4, yet again, we'll find out some more stuff about our squad. And I think in the longer term, if it hurts us in the short term and we don't make it, we will have got some great experience into some of these young guys moving forward. But I'll go back to my original point. We're going to give it a damn good go, mate. They're all up for it. And if we can, we're going to have to manage it. We're not going to get our best 17 on the field every time. We're going to have to manage it. But we'll give it a go.
Talking of the squad, have you got a prognosis on Cuthbo's injury?
Yeah, he has got a fracture in his shoulder. We would say at this time it's going to be an uphill struggle for him to get back in time. He's not given up the ghost. He still wants to try and take any measures he can really to get himself back on the field in a short space of time. But yeah, that's going to be an uphill struggle for him. We feel with such a limited amount of time through to the end of the comp. If we can get sort of a little bit further into playoffs, if we can make the playoffs and get further, I suppose it could give him an outside chance. But it's going to be a struggle for him. The one thing we think, James, sort of back to the fixtures, is we know what we've got over the next 4 or 5 games. We think that we probably, if we can navigate our way where we need to through that, then our playoffs would start a week earlier. Rather than in the semi-final. I think we're scheduled to play Wigan last game. We're sort of tipping that if we can navigate through enough, we're tipping that almost our sudden death games will come a week or 2 earlier than everybody else's.
And if the Challenge Cup final is Cuthbo's last appearance for the club, how would you quantify his contribution?
Well, I'm probably not the best person qualified to speak. I'll speak about my time here. From the time when I took over, he probably were in a little bit of a, I won't say a rut, but he was having some difficulty. He weren't catching the team every week. We just told him what we wanted from him and asked him to buy into that and set him some little standards and markers for him to sort of keep his spot in the team. This is what we needed him to do. One thing I'll say about when we've had those conversations, he's always the utmost professional. Not getting picked for the semi-final. He took it on the chin and just stuck his hand up and said, look, I'm prepared to do whatever you need me to do for this team, be it on the field, be it off the field, be it in the midweek games, which you can imagine coming to the end of I guess, a very successful and illustrious stint at this club and what this club's meant to him, the contribution he's had. That would have been difficult for him, but he was the utmost professional. And I respect that. I respect his honesty with me. And I think going before my time as coach, he's been a player that has contributed enormously to Leeds' success over the championships and over the Challenge Cup finals that they've won, and he's brought his own unique style to the team, which has been great for people to watch. Contributed in other ways, coaching the girls' team as well. So he's been for an overseas player coming in, he's been a terrific clubman.
Just finally for me, Rich, game 1 of what was it, 16, 17 or whatever. Yeah. What's going to be key to getting over Saints at Saints?
Look, I think they're the best team in the comp. I think their best game is too good for every other team in the comp at this moment in time. But we have seen occasions this year where they have got clunky in their attack, and teams have, and we've seen it in the last 4 weeks. Teams that have gone out there and had a real crack at them have, got them in a contest. But with the utmost respect for them, they're fresh off a pretty much a week off and full strength team. So we know we're going to have to find some great intensity levels. We were really disappointed last time out we played them, James. We thought we got our week wrong. We were really disappointed with our effort, which is something we've never really had to level at this team. And they embarrassed us. So, we understand what a good performance against St Helens needs to look like. I think, look, in terms of our team selection, I sort of tried to explain earlier, we think we've gone as strong as we can by picking people that are 100% fit, and making sure that we don't write ourselves off for the rest of these 6 games. So I think going into this game with people that are carrying bumps and bruises and soreness and are a little bit flat is not the right way to go. I'd rather have guys that are as fresh as can possibly be. But I think when we have challenged the young kids about from going to Catalan to going to Warrington, I think every game's been a bit of a step up in a level and a bit of a challenge to try and improve on that. And I think that's the same again. If you want to go again a benchmark team and benchmark players, well, this is it. And I think it's a tremendous way to measure yourself, measure the depth of your squad, and at the same time, show St Helens that what they encountered last time were an off day on our part. I think we've plenty to prove in that, in that area too.